Hello there, kids. Today we are going to learn how to round off a number to its nearest place value, So, when you're asked to round off a number, you are usually asked to round it off to the nearest tens, hundreds, thousands, or even 10,000s, even 100,000s, even millions. Okay? So, what do you mean by round off? What do you mean by that? For example, if we have 63, and I'm gonna ask you now, how do you round off 63 to its nearest tens? Okay, let's say the instructions now is nearest tens. And if you observe, I have this certain bar on top. Okay, if I'm gonna fill this number, I'll start with 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Okay. When you are asked to round off a certain value, which is in this case 63, and the instruction says nearest tens, since it's in tens, it's either 63 will be rounded off to 60 or to 70. And if you notice here that 63 is right here. If you're going to make use of this graph, all we need to do is to determine which it is closest to. Is it closer to 60 or to 70? By simply looking at the graph, it is safe to say that 63 is nearest to 60, which means if 63 is rounded off to the nearest tens, the answer will be 60. Okay? 63 rounded off to the nearest tens is 60. Okay, so that's what you basically mean when you round off a number. Okay, let's try another one. I'll just remove these things here. Mga sinulat natin kanina. Except for the number graph. And the numbers as well. Number pala itatanggalin natin. Okay. So let's say we have 47. So 47 will either be rounded off to 40 or 50. Okay? So do you get the logic there? This number is between 40 and 50. It's just that we have to find out which number it is nearest to. For example, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay? So, if you can identify 47, we have 47 over here. It is either near 50 or 40. But obviously, by simply looking at the given data, we can say that 47 is nearer to 50, which means we can say now that 47 rounded off to the nearest tens is 50. Okay? Okay, we have another example over here. We have 184 and we are asked to round it off to the nearest tens. Okay, since it says tens, please take note of that, tens. So we should only consider 84. Okay, we are going to put 100 aside first. And let us make use of 84. So 84 will either be 80 or 90. Correct? So if you're going to plot down the numbers, we have 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So all you have to do now is to identify 84 and check which is nearer, 80 or 90. Obviously, it's 80. So we can now safely say that 184 nearest tens is basically just 80. But remember, we have 100 earlier, right? So which means you have to put 180 back together again, which will give us 180. Okay? So 184 rounded off to the nearest tens is 180. Okay? Okay, so basically using the graph, this is just to show you the logic of what rounding off is. Okay? For some, it is easy for you to get the answer. Okay? Most of you would just like, by simply looking at the number, you already know the answer. Okay? But for some, it is quite difficult as well. Okay? So, I will show you a technique on how to round off a certain number. Okay, it says here, round off to the nearest hundreds. Now it says hundreds, not tens, which means you have to consider this digit here, which is 3. Okay? What is the value of 3 here? When you say value, it is the actual value of 3. So in this case, it's 300. What is the next 100 after 300? Obviously, it's 400. So this is just to show you that 352 is somewhere in between 300 and 400. In this case, we need to make use of a certain number, which is in this example, since we are asked to round off in the nearest hundreds, which is 3, you need to make use of the number or the digit before it. Okay, before it, which is in this case, you have 5. Okay, 5. Now, I should also introduce you to two groups of friends. Okay, we have the two groups of friends here. I'll just write it above. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just 4. Okay, I'll put a box there. And another group of friends, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so take note that I placed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to the right, while I placed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. Okay, we have a reason for that, and I'm going to explain to you later. Okay, so if you notice that our example earlier, 352 is in between 300 and 400. Okay, and to round it off, we need to make use of the digit before what we are looking for, which is in this case nga, it's hundreds. Okay, since it is in hundreds, we are gonna make use of the hundreds, and before that is tens, which is 5. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you, where is 5 among the two groups of friends? Okay, where is 5 among the two groups of friends? Is 5 here or there? So obviously, you can see that 5 belongs to this group over here. So since it basically is in our right, that's the reason why I placed them in certain directions. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is to our left. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is to our right. Why? Because deciding which number to choose for 352 is either going to the left, which is 300, or to the right, which is 400. And since 5 belongs to this group, which is to the right, okay, so 352 rounded off to the nearest hundreds is 400. Okay? So we are making use of our set of friends here. Okay? Let's try another example just for you to get what I'm trying to say. Let me remove this. Okay. I know it's confusing at first. Try lang natin until you master it. For those who don't need this tutorial anymore, it's okay. But this is for those na medyo nahihirapan, for those who are having difficulty in understanding how to round off. Okay? 547. Okay, round off to the nearest hundreds pa rin. Okay, we will still apply the same rule. So, we have hundreds here, 5. And the value of 5 is 500. The next hundreds is 600. So, just to show you the logic, that 547 is in between 500 and 600. So, since we are asked to round off to the nearest hundreds, we are now going to make use of the place value before, which is tens, which is in this case is 4. Now, if you are going to search for, is 4 here or here? Does 4 belong to the group to our left or to our right? Okay, so obviously it belongs to this group, which is to our left. So which means all you have to do is to choose the number to your left, which is 500. So 547 rounded off to the nearest hundreds is equivalent to 500. Okay? Just to make sure that you were able to understand, I'm gonna give you another example. Okay, so for example, we have 872 still round off to the nearest hundreds. The place value or the value of 8 here is 800, and the 100 after 800 is 900. Showing us again that 872 is between 800 and 900. So to round off, we make use of the digit before the given place value, which is hundreds. So we're going to look for this one. All you have to do now is to identify where 7 is. Is 7 here or there? So since 7 belongs to this group over here, so which means you have to choose, which is to our right, which means you have to choose the number to our right as well, which means 872 rounded off to the nearest hundreds is equivalent to 900. Now let's try to change the value to thousands. Round off to the nearest thousand. Okay, again, round off to the nearest thousands. Okay, let's say we have a value of 4,682. Again, since we are doing thousands, all you have to do first is to identify the value which is in the thousands place. In this case, we have 4. If we are going to round off the value of, to take the value of 4, which is in thousands place, it is equivalent to 4,000. And the thousands value after 4,000 is 5,000. So it is now safe to say again that 4,682 is in between 4,000 and 5,000. Okay? So, to round off, what was our clue earlier is to make use of the digit before what is asked, which is in this case is thousands, no? Thousands ang given natin. So, making use of the digit before thousands is 6. All you have to do now is to look for 6 if it belongs to this group or that group? Obviously, it belongs to this group, which means we or you are supposed to choose the number to our right as well, which is 5,000. So 4,682 rounded off to the nearest thousands is 5,000. Okay, I hope that you were able to get the examples. If you have confusion, if you are confused, kindly just message me to help you and send you more examples. But I'm still gonna give you more examples though. Okay, in this case, we have a direction saying round off to the nearest hundreds. Placing our group of friends again, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have the number 8,642. But take note that what is asked is hundreds. Okay, that's hundreds, which is this one. So, what is the value of 6? We know that the value of 6 here is 600, and the hundreds value after 600 is 700. But please take note that we are going to set this value aside first, which is equivalent to 8,000. We'll just leave it there. Okay? Don't forget about that, because if you'll forget about that, wala. You'll not be able to get the answer correctly. Okay. We are now asked to round off to the nearest hundreds. And again, to help us with this group of friends, we need to make use of the given digit before what is given, which is 6. No? So before that is 4. 4 belongs to what group? This group or this group? So since 4 belongs to this group, it is now safe to say that 642 will be rounded off to 600. Okay, this is what one common mistake of students is, that they write their answer immediately as just 600. Now, you are forgetting about one thing, which is the 8,000. You have to put 8,000 rather and 600 together again. Of course, if not, you'll be losing a huge amount or a large amount of value. Okay? So, to write up the total, it is correct that 642 rounded off is equivalent to 600. But don't forget about the remaining numbers na hindi natin ginagamit. Maybe it can be in thousands, 10,000s. Sayang naman. So, add everything up. This will give us 8,600. So, just to write it in sentence, 8,642 rounded off to the hundreds place, or to the hundreds, to the nearest hundreds, to the nearest hundreds is 8,600. So that is it.